Hello everybody, welcome back to another video by Jay Bowman. This is the latest in my series of videos comparing the Olympus EM1 III and the OM System OM1 II. If you haven't watched the previous videos in this series, then it's worth watching them first before watching this video. Those videos go through a detailed comparison of the hardware, image quality and autofocus of the two cameras. However, the reason I wanted to make this video is that over the past month or so, my opinion on the difference between the EM1 III and the OM1 II has changed. Previously, I viewed the OM1 II as an incremental improvement over the EM1 III, but not necessarily a compelling upgrade or, to use the dreaded word, a game changer. From watching my previous video series, you would probably have gathered the impression that the OM1 II is a slight improvement over the EM1 III because it has a slightly bigger battery, a slightly better EVF, slightly better stabilization, autofocus and computational features. But what my actual use of the cameras has taught me is that all of these slight improvements add up to make the OM1 II a significantly better camera than the EM1 III. And aside from the slight improvements, there are some new features in the OM1 II, principally the live GND, which have no equivalent in the EM1 III. So putting all of that together, what I've come to realize over the past month or so is that the OM1 II really is in a different league to the EM1 III. I've barely touched the EM1 III in the past month. If I'm taking one camera with me, then unless compact size is the ultimate priority, then I will take the OM1 II. If I need two cameras, then often I will take my OM1 II and my EM5 III as a backup due to the small and lightweight nature of the EM5 III. The EM1 III does not really get a look in nowadays, and that is despite the fact that it indisputably still feels better in the hand than the OM1 II. That is because I know I can take the OM1 II out for longer and shoot more shots with it than I can with the EM1 III due to the bigger battery. If I'm shooting autofocus, then I can focus more accurately due to the subject detect algorithms. But also if I'm shooting manual focus, then I can more accurately judge focus due to the more detailed EVF. Also, I can use the live GND feature in the OM1 II to balance exposure in the field if I need to. This is a feature which is not available on the EM1 III or on any other camera so far as I'm aware, and for someone who doesn't own many filters and doesn't like to carry any, this is really a brilliant advantage of the OM1 II. So what has prompted me to make this video is the growing realization that my previous videos probably undersell the OM1 II, and a couple of recent comments I received on my photos and videos cemented that for me. Comment 1. Cheating with the OM1 II. So let's address a couple of comments I've received on my photos and videos recently. The first comment was a response to some of my photos which asked whether I'd taken my photos with a full frame camera. The answer I gave is that no, I cheated by using micro four thirds. And I honestly feel at times that shooting with the OM1 II is cheating. To give an example, people have different meanings of hand-holding a shot. Sometimes shots taken leaning against a wall, or sitting or lying down, or resting the camera against something stable are counted as handheld. And I have some sympathy with that. Some of the handheld shots I'm going to show later in this video were taken that way. But if I said I shot this particular photo with a 150mm lens, so 300mm full frame equivalent, at 1/3 of a second handheld, completely freestanding with nothing to lean on, and it is pin sharp, then doesn't this seem like cheating? What about this shot, taken leaning against a railing with my 12mm f2 at 3.2 seconds using live ND? Is this not cheating? What about these mushroom shots, shot handheld with in-body focus stacking? Is this not cheating? Whatever it is, it's extremely fun. Comment 2. The advantage of the OM1 II. Let's look at another comment on one of my previous videos. I do own an EM1 Mark II, an EM1 Mark III, as well as an EM5 Mark III. For the type of photography I do, seascape mainly, there is nothing about the new OM1 Mark II that would make any difference for me. So we'll stick with my trusty Olympus bodies. Now I can understand why someone would come away from my previous videos comparing the EM1 III and the OM1 II with that assessment. However, my response to this comment is that I think there are some features in the OM1 II which do potentially make it a significant and worthy upgrade over the EM1 III. The most important of these, on top of the better in-body image stabilization and improved live ND, is the new live GND. I use this live GND so often that I have it on a shortcut button. In fact, the only reason I do not use it more is because you cannot combine live GND with handheld high-res or in-body focus stacking. The photos I'm showing now all use live GND, and it's really revolutionary to be able to balance exposure for each frame within the camera without having to use physical filters or post-processing techniques. To give an example of how live GND works, I'm attaching an example taken using the live GND on the left and the straight shot with no live GND on the right. I've exaggerated the effect in this example by using the GND 8 strength of filter, equivalent to 3 EV of exposure compensation, when I probably would have used the GND 4, equivalent to 2 EV of exposure compensation, if I had actually intended to make anything of this shot. But the fact is that you can switch between filter strengths and the hardness of the edge on the filter with the press of a button and the flick of a dial. You can try out different combinations in the field without moving your hands from the camera or your eyes from the viewfinder. No fumbling in camera bags or pouches is necessary. No extra glass degrading image quality. This is truly revolutionary and very freeing. If you have an OM1 II and have not tried the live GND, I would really urge you to map it to a shortcut button and just try it out. Conclusion. Hopes for the OM1 Mark III. So this was just a very brief video to update my review of the OM1 II. Some people hate the phrase game changer, but I have to say that for me, the OM1 II has completely changed my game. It has turned me from primarily a family portrait photographer into a wildlife and landscape photographer, at least of sorts. And I could not have made that change without some cheating on my part. A few people have asked me what I would like to see in a future OM1 Mark III, and my answer is I want OM System to lean even further into the computational aspect of their cameras. The current sensor is great, and any improvements they can make there will of course be welcome. But I think it is critical for OM System to integrate the computational features more completely into the general photographic experience of using the OM1. So they need to speed up the time it takes for the camera to carry out its computational processes. Ideally, you could use focus stacking, handheld high-res, live ND and live GND with no delay between shots. But also you should be able to use multiple computational features simultaneously. So you should be able to use live GND with focus stacking, or handheld high-res, or all three at once would be great, or even 2 live GNDs simultaneously. I also would like to see more flexibility in the multi-shot capabilities of the OM1, so that the camera can cope better with movement in the scene. Also, giving the user the ability to use fewer than 8 shots, so rather than a 50 megapixel image, you could produce, for example, a 30 megapixel image, but with only taking, say, 4 shots rather than 8. Using multi-shots or some other signal processing tricks could improve dynamic range also. I believe the most recent Panasonic Lumix Micro Four Thirds cameras have this facility. I expect that all of the above is within the realms of what OM System should be able to achieve with a faster and more powerful processor in the next generation of the OM1, which is probably a more realistic request than asking for a new sensor at this point. Thinking creatively, I do wonder whether there is a way OM System could invent a live CPL. This would be a computational feature replicating the effect of a circular polarizing filter. I've read in various places that it is impossible to replicate the effects of a circular polarizing filter in post-processing, but I do wonder whether through multi-shot trickery, OM System could find a way to do this in camera. That way you could truly leave all of your filters at home. That would make the next OM1 camera an even more tempting proposition, even more fun, and even more like cheating. My fingers are crossed. If you've made it this far in this video, thank you very much for watching. Please do give me a like and a subscribe, and I will catch you on the next video. Goodbye.